If you played the Battlegrounds quest this week and last week, spoilers for those who haven't, something pretty scary happens to Commander Zavala. A Cabal assassin slipped within the city's walls unseen. Although it may appear as a failed attempt, something more sinister may have been going on under the hood, a plot orchestrated by one of our own. Today's mystery will take us through Crow's discovery of a Cabal assassin and how he stopped them from taking out one of the leaders of the Guardians. Also, let's take a look at who might have been behind this plan, somebody we've known for years now.
But the day may come when we will be tested, when all we hold dear is threatened. And then we will see what each of us is truly made of.
Welcome back everybody, hope you're having an amazing day. As mentioned, we will first start by discussing the Crow's journey to find this assassin and how Osiris yells at him, and then we'll add some spice and theories onto it later, talking about who possibly sent this assassin. The tale here begins last week when the Crow learns of the Scions experimenting with Vex prediction engines.
Listen, I've been combing through the prediction you pulled from Nessus. I've got bad news. I think the Cabal are going to try to take Zavala out. He's missing from every single one of the futures they predicted. Not missing where'd he go missing. Dead missing.
So Crow believed that the Cabal were planning an attack on Zavala because he was missing from those predictions. And as it turns out this week, that assassination attempt went down. Now I'm gonna play the full cutscene of Zavala discussing it for those who haven't seen it, and if you have, you can skip ahead in the timeline below where we analyze it.
Sometimes I like to listen to the city's pulse. I hear it best when the people are asleep, and when I'm alone. It was a warm night, and I wanted to feel the breeze on my face. I took a walk through the first garden we planted inside these walls, to remind myself how far we've come. We've made so many sacrifices since those early days. But with the green of that garden and the murmur of the city we built up around it, I could be at peace. For a little while. Have you ever felt someone's eyes watching you, Guardian? You might not believe it, but I knew he was there before I saw him. I turned, and there he was, Uldren Sov, his spirit haunting me. Then he shouted a warning, and something snapped in the trees behind me. I spun around, my gun in hand, before I realized I'd drawn it. It all happened so fast. A Cabal assassin, one of Caiatl's, no doubt. When I looked back for Prince Uldren, he was gone. Was it a troubled spirit? A hallucination? I wasn't sleeping well before. Now I'm not sure I will at all.
So this is huge. Zavala was just taking a stroll in one of the gardens when a Scion assassin emerged from the trees. As Zavala looked around, he heard a warning from none other than Uldren Sov. After the assassin was dead though, Uldren was gone. So Crow was right. From the Vex prediction engines last week and everything he was analyzing, he did save Commander Zavala and they were trying to assassinate him. Now this was all good, but the only problem was that his face was seen, something Osiris told him not to do in the previous weeks. Despite being seen, Crow says he will do whatever it takes to keep the people safe and defeat our enemies, even if that means showing his face.
At that distance, in the dark, no.
Enough to put a name to a dead man's face. The commander told Ikora. Thankfully, he passed you off as a hallucination.
An assassin was inside our walls. I had to do something.
This isn't the first time an enemy has infiltrated the city, and it won't be the last.
I didn't want to be the reason for more pain. The next time they come for the commander, they'll have to get through me. Mask or no mask. Just don't tell Osiris I said that.
So apparently Crow will be Zavala's bodyguard moving forward, or at least for this season. We know we did see that cutscene early on with Zavala and Crow in the background, so perhaps that's where that's going to come into play. Something I did find kinda cool is that in the quest description it explains that the Vanguard have noticed Crow's value. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that he will be a part of the Vanguard, but they do see how important he is to the city. So not sure if this is a hint towards the future or it's just a quest description and I'm looking into it too much. So the big question, who sent this assassin? Now there are many possibilities for this. First, it could have been Caiatl, but I myself find that very unlikely. Now it currently does appear that's who sent this assassin given the dialogue and the description of this quest right here, but this could just be a ploy. So far as we've seen through the lore, Caiatl is a commander who stands by their word. Although they initially wanted to come to Earth to raise war and reclaim their former glory to rebuild their empire, that was simply not an option with the power of us Guardians. They've seen that we have killed gods, they wouldn't be able to possibly take us down. Near the end of this season, I believe we will truly see an alliance formed with Caiatl. If she wants to take back Tor Battle, their homeworld, and stop the Hive in the darkness, she's going to need us to do so. Also, if you're not on Twitter, Destiny the Game's Twitter changed their name to Caiatl, Empress of the Cabal. They've been tweeting out various things and also responding to some users like Justin here. He said, yeah, and you thought a single assassin could take out Zavala. Cute lady. You're about to have many god killers gunning for you. Sort out your affairs. To which she responds, if I wanted to kill Zavala, I would look him in the eyes when I did it. A warrior deserves no less. The second option, a Scion Flare or a rogue agent within Caiatl's army. Thanks to the lore this season, we know that the Scions are now free from the Cabal. Some of them stay there as an option, but they are no longer sort of held here against their will to be a part of the Cabal. So given some of the Scions we've seen in the Battlegrounds missions like on Nessus, or some we've never seen before possibly related to Atzad and that whole situation, who knows? Again, Caiatl could have sent them, but my best guess if it was a part of her army, it could be a rogue Scion. And lastly, the most interesting one that you're probably here for, Saladin could have sent the assassin. Well, why would Saladin do this? Well, he's kinda messed up if you've seen some of this dialogue, and he would rather battle these Cabal in all-out war than have a truce with them, and Zavala stands in the way.
Yeah, I heard. I can't bear to think on it. After Cade, if Zavala had...
How many more have to die before we take these threats seriously?
What do you think we're doing out here? I got serious bullet holes up and down my ship.
And yet we let them regroup. We should take the fight to the Cabal instead of waiting for them to come to us.
Guardians guard, they're not invaders.
Perhaps it's time that changed.
We see that Saladin doesn't like this peaceful way of interacting with Caiatl. So this clip is from this last week after the assassination attempt. You can tell that Saladin is kinda annoyed with the way this is being handled. If he was in charge, he says he would channel the light into a clean, burning fury and raise the Cabal Empire to ashes.
There was an assassin within the walls of the last city, and no one knew until it was almost too late. Luck was on our side. Next time, it won't be. What we must do now is channel our light into a clean, burning fury and raise the Cabal Empire to ashes. Zavala may still have hope for a peaceful resolution, but he hasn't seen what I have. I'm still an Iron Lord. I'll be in the fray exacting retribution. When you're ready, you should be too.
We can tell that Saladin still has trouble with his past in the Iron Lords, letting some of them die and all the innocent lives lost at his command. This could just be how it appears though, maybe he's giving advice and operating from the side under Zavalas' orders, but given the way he's presenting this dialogue and others throughout this season so far, it makes it seem like he's kind of going off the rails, and possibly someone who can even let a scion into the last safe city.
Thanks to your fieldwork, I have an idea of what the Scions are planning. It's not good. This gadget you found, it's a tiny light disruptor, small, but strong enough to knock down a ghost. Saladin says when the Cabal sieged the city, they severed our connection to the light. Looks like the Scions have refined that tech. It's elegant, actually, and deadly. They wouldn't need to fly a fleet into the city to use this. A single gunman would be enough if they could catch a Guardian flat-footed. I'll tell Osiris, and I'll keep an eye on the commander. You know, just to be safe.
We know that Scions have these telekinetic powers and so on, but there's no way that one Scion would be able to sneak into the city on its own, right? I mean, I guess there's a possibility given we've seen it with Scourge of the Past and the Fallen raid taking place in the city itself, but specifically an assassin meant to target a high-ranking officer, someone that should normally be protected, right? They would have to know where he was in the city at the exact moment and what he was up to. And that makes me question, did this Scion slip in, or did someone let them in with that info, possibly telling them, hey, Zavala's over here in this garden, now's the chance to strike. Now if you want to throw even more theories out there, Saladin could be cursed or influenced by someone like Savathun. If you watched my last video, we talked about the Cabal homeworld of Torah Battle and how it was infected by the Hive, Zivu Arath, and how one of the Cabal generals named Umun was basically corrupted and infected by the Hive until Caiatl was forced to kill her. Umun, chuckling, raised her hands. They glowed. The fire behind her burned higher and chattered like rattling bones. "The war is all there is," she said. Soon after this, Caiatl killed her, and then fire consumed the corpse as a gargantuan portal opened in the sky. So who this was, we're unsure at this current moment in time. It could be someone like Saladin, it could be a rogue agent from Caiatl's army, possibly the new Proving Grounds boss, or it could be something else entirely. But Guardians, I hope you enjoyed this video. Regardless of the wacky theories, we know some more information about Crow moving forward, being Zavala's bodyguard. And Osiris is pretty angry with his face being seen, with Zavala recognizing the person that saved him as Uldren Sov. Will he know that his new bodyguard is that same person? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. If you'd like to see some more videos just like this, definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. My name's Evade, and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.